All right, welcome back to another tutorial video. In today's tutorial video, we are going to observe various network traffic to and from virtual machines with Wireshark that are going to be Windows 10 Pro and Ubuntu Server. So let's jump right into it. And first thing we need to do is access the Azure portal, and you can navigate to portalazure.com in the web browser, sign in with your Microsoft account, and ensure that your subscription is active and has sufficient credits. When you sign up, you can get a free trial that basically gives you like $200 worth of credits to where you can do these. Let's get into, need to create a resource group for the lab. Come here to the Azure portal. Go to resource groups, and we're going to create a new resource group up here. We're just going to call this one Traffic. Once we got what resource group we're going to put it into there, we're going to hit review and create, and we're going to click on create. Next step, we're going to create the first virtual machine. Okay, the first one we're going to set up is the Windows 10 Pro one. So we're going to come back to the Azure portal, go back to home, click here on virtual machines, click create, and we're going to do a virtual machine. So resource group, we want to make sure that it's selected as the one that we just made. I'm just going to call this one Windows and make sure the region's set up for the same as your resource group. I'm going to come down here to image. Now we're going to select Windows 10 Pro. Now we're going to come down here to the size. For this one, we're going to do the 2 vCPUs. I'm going to put in the name. I'm going to do it as lab user. Now I'm going to enter in a password. Now we're going to check this box to confirm to have an eligible Windows 10. And we're going to hit review and create. We're going to let it do its validation pass test. And we're going to click on create. While that is creating, and I'll come back to the virtual machines, and then we're going to create the second one. Once we're in the creating one, we're going to make sure that the resource group is set to the same as our Windows 10. And we're going to come over to the name, or we're just going to call it Ubuntu VM. We're going to make sure that we have Ubuntu Server 22.04 as the image. We're going to come to authentication type password, so we don't have to worry about the SSH public key. I'm just going to re-enter in the same password that I used for the other one. Next, networking. We're going to make sure the virtual network is the same as the Windows 10 one. We're going to click on review and create. Validation passed. Then we're going to hit create again. So it should take a little bit to boot that up. We'll grab our public IP address for the Windows 10 virtual machine. And we're going to the remote desktop connection and come down here and type it in. And we're going to select this one, paste in the public IP address, and then we're going to type in the username, enter in the password that we used to set it up. I'll click yes. We have it loaded in. We're going to select all of these to no and click accept. Yes on that one. Click continue. Start without. Confirm and continue. Continue without. Confirm and start browsing. I'm going to set this up to a dark theme. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Wireshark's website. Okay, so we want wireshark.org. And we are going to download the 64-bit installer. Click on open file. Once its wizard pops up, we're going to click next. Noted. Next. 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 Install. And then we're going to let it do its thing. Come over here, copy that. And it in. I'm gonna hit I agree. Hit install. All right. So now we're gonna come and hit on next. Finish. Didn't exactly open it while it finished, but we're just gonna go ahead and hit the start button and then go to Wireshark. Here we can see a little graph of our network traffic. So I'm just gonna double click on that. And here we can see all of the network traffic coming from the actual computer to this virtual machine. And shrink it down a little bit. So then if we want to stop, we can stop the traffic by hitting the red square stop button here. So I'm going to continue without saving, start a new one up by clicking that little shark fin. And then we're going to apply the ICMP filter. Then we're going to come over here and hit this blue arrow. And then so I'm going to close that down. I'm going to minimize that down a little bit and come back over to the Azure portal. I'm going to click on the Ubuntu VM that we created. All right, right here, the private IP address. Gonna go ahead and grab that. And then gonna come back into here. And we're gonna open up PowerShell. We can come down here to the search bar and type in PowerShell. That's administrator. Okay. Over here, we can see the port, our protocol, showing our different data packets that got sent when we pinged it. Verify that it was pinged. And we can also set up a continuous ping by attaching a -T. And we can come over here and watch as it continuously just sends traffic back and forth. Reply, request. So we can see the traffic there. Now we're going to modify Ubuntu's VM network security group to allow for different protocols to be able to go through. So we'll come over here. Go to network security groups. And click on the Ubuntu VM network security group. And come over here to inbound security roles. We're going to add. We're going to do a destination port for all. all ports. Gonna make it ICMP version 4. Now we're gonna do the action as deny. Set the priority to 290. And we're gonna come back to our Windows 10 virtual machine. And notice how the reply is now going to request timed out. And over here, we can see no response found. The security rule that we just ended up adding just basically blocked the traffic to this. So we shouldn't be seeing any more connection going through on the ICMP port. Come back to the computer. We're going to come back to where we just set up the security rule on Azure portal. And we're just going to delete it. We're going to monitor this. All right. Now we can see that it is back to pinging, as we could tell from the no response found. And now we got the reply requests coming in. All right, now we're going to stop the continuous ping by holding control on it and see. Now we can see it stopped over here. All right. So we're going to stop that. We're just going to remove that filter. I'm going to continue without saving. I'm going to observe new packets coming in. Now we're going to come up here. We're going to do the SSH filter. And click this blue arrow. Stop. Okay, so now the filter is on. Now we're going to initiate a connection to the Linux server. So we're going to type in SSH. Edit it as user. Then we're going to enter in the password that we set up for it. All right. And now you can see that right here, it's showing lab user and then Ubuntu VM. So now we are in session of it. Now we pull this up and over here. Got the key exchange, new keys, and encrypted packets. As SSH is over an encrypted network. All right, so who am I? Lab user. The directory is home lab user. And another thing with here is anything that we type out on to the keyboard, creating a new data packet that is sent over. So we can just hit random keys and notice every little thing that we're doing is being pushed over the SSH. I'm just going to go ahead and exit that. And now we're back to the Windows. All right. Here was an acknowledge. All right, so we're going to start a new packet capture. So we're going to hit the stop and go ahead and get rid of the filter. I'm going to continue without saving. All right. And we're going to enter in the filter for the DHCP. And now we're going to hit the blue arrow. So we're going to come back over here to our PowerShell. And we are going to execute ipconfig renew. And we can see right here, did a request, acknowledge. It may end up kicking me out. So I did not. But here we can see the request and the acknowledgement of the command. So we're going to get rid of that filter. I'm going to go ahead and stop that. I'm going to start a new one. All right, now we're going to do the DNS filter and apply it to this network traffic. So I'm going to come back over here to our PowerShell. Now we're going to look up where it shows Google as its server address as 168.63.129.16, and then an IP address and the non-authoritative answer 172.217.114. So now we're gonna look at Disney. Here we got the same thing where we can see over here and over here. And here we can see Microsoft Edge is sending stuff. And back out in that filter. I'm going to stop that packet capture, start a new one. I'm going to continue without saving. Now we're going to apply the RDP filter. should be doing that, but here we'll just do TCP port 89. Okay, that's what it should be showing. I always see a constant flow between constant packet flow because it's connecting. Our regular computer is connecting into the virtual machine, and it's constantly sending that data back and forth, which is why we have endless packets going back and forth. Basically, every movement that we do in the virtual machine, with typing, moving the mouse around, will send some sort of packet of information along here. Now we can see it. TCP on quite a bit. And basically it would be the same if we got rid of it. It's all this over here too. That will be the conclusion of this tutorial and monitoring network traffic between virtual machines. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later.